really work well. And
then how did you find a buyer? How did you go about that process?
Right. So what we decided is, initially we met with the Small Business Association, the SBA, which we totally recommend. And there was a guy who did this great consultation with us and was like, yes, I'll help you. That'll be great. You don't need a business broker. And so he told us what we needed to put together. So I started putting things together, and he said I could run things by him. And I would send him things, and he wouldn't look at them. And I would send him again, and I'd never hear back. And I was like, you know what? It's really hard, and I think most business owners would find this. You have to keep the business running and running well, or no one wants to buy it. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to keep the business running well and do all the selling stuff yourself. So you need to have the business at a certain point that it's worth it for a business broker to take on, but luckily ours was at that point. So we interviewed several business brokers, and we ended up choosing one who we felt understood us and understood our market, picking a broker who really understood our business. And by that, I mean a lot of business brokers really do primarily local sales. So bricks and mortar. I have a Togo's. I want to sell that Togo's. Who will buy my Togo's?
Okay.
And we were an oddity, because we had this little location, but the majority of our sales were not coming from our bricks and mortar store. So someone could buy it anywhere in the country, really, and run it and still have the majority of our sales. So we were sort of online and bricks and mortar, and it's someone who understands what the online reputation is, and also that we were online listed for a number of really high-end manufacturers, which was a coveted position to get, and that they no longer gave out to any new online retailers. So we had sort of built up this brand equity that couldn't be replicated if someone were just to start now. And that's really important. When you're selling something, the more money you can command is directly tied to how easy is it to replicate what you've done in the marketplace. And we were in early enough and, had built our business early enough that there were a lot of new online retailers coming in, but they couldn't have what we had.
Interesting.
So anyway, we started working with this business broker, and what they do is they do a type of prospectus about your business, and it's I also recommend Selling Your Business for Dummies. It's a good way to just get a handle on what the terms are in the market and how to think about it.
No, that's a great recommendation. Good, thank you.
So anyway, they come up with sort of almost like a prospectus for your business, where they describe it. They describe all about the market. What differentiates you from your competitors. What are the advantages? What are the growth opportunities?
Okay.
And then they put it, and then they list it. And there's a number of different sites. In California, I think bizden.com is big. There's also businessesforsale.com.
Okay.
And there's and then he also took care of all the legal. Like when you're selling a business, you actually have to list it in some kind of registrar, like this paper, so that anyone who you owe money to can come find you for the money before you sell the business. It's a technicality, but want it to be legal. It's good to do those kind of things.
No, that's good. Those are good tips. Good advice. How long does it take then? How long do you hire a business broker for, typically?
So, typically, the contract is for 1 year.
Okay.
And the average time to sell a business, I think, is somewhere between 9 months to a year.
Okay.
So business brokers want to have you for the whole year to sort of try it out. One other point I'll just say about choosing a business broker, that is, we were able to negotiate with our business broker. And right now the market is sort of difficult for business brokers. So if people do want to use them, feel free to negotiate.
So when you say negotiate, do they take a percentage of your sale, or?
They do.
Okay.
They take a percentage of the sale.
Do you know what the typical percentage rates are?
About 10%.
Okay. So 10%. You don't pay them anything else. They will just take the 10% fee of the sale then.
Yes, but a lot of times they have a floor. So in other words, if you're selling a $30,000 business, they won't do that for $3,000. They have a floor of like $8,000 or $9,000.
Okay.
So just to give, listeners sort of an idea of, if your business is really under $100,000 or so, you really probably want to be trying to sell it yourself through bizben.com or businesses for sale.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Sorry for cutting you off. Okay. So you're going through that process. You sold your business. How long did it take to sell your business?
So, that was what was really lucky and remarkable for us is that we were I think it got lifted in December, and we had a lot of inquiries right off the bat, and people who wanted to talk to us. What the business broker does is he can sort of field the first line, make sure people actually have enough money to buy the business.
Okay.
And if they seem like good prospects and they want to talk to the owners, then he'll arrange a conversation with us, with people. But we don't have to talk to people before they seem like really good prospects.
Okay.
So we're not fielding calls every day the way he was about our business. And then he said to us, no one's going to make an offer until you have year-end numbers. So you have to believe we were pushing our accountants so hard. We need those year-end numbers, get those year-end numbers. Because everyone wanted to make sure that you haven't decreased in business.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. We did get those numbers, and we sent them out to the interested buyers, and I think within that week we had 4 offers.
Wow. That's great. Were you just thrilled beyond belief? Were you surprised, excited?
Well, at first we were completely thrilled, because to be honest, the offers were more than we expected, so that was great. And more than our broker has sort of cautioned us to expect.
Okay.
And then because, of course, we had multiple offers, you have a situation where you can negotiate. And you can come back to people instead of just taking the first offer you get and say, well, there's actually been some other interest. Would you be willing to go to this amount? And so we sort of picked our best offer, negotiated with them, but we had a backup offer meanwhile the whole time.
Wow, that's incredible. That's very exciting.
It was really wonderful, and especially it was in like 2009. No one was selling businesses at that point successfully.
So how long does that take? So you hired a broker. How many months later did you actually sell your company? And then how long does the transaction take place?
So all of this stuff is really variable. As my business broker says, I can do things as fast as you want them. You just need to get me the things I need.
Okay.
And since I was a motivated seller, I got him all the work and the numbers that he needed. So I think we might have probably sometime in October, we said, I want to work with you.
Okay.
In December, he had everything he needed and got the business listed. And then in January, we got offers once we had the numbers, so probably mid-January. And then we were really fortunate because the offer that we had was all cash offer.
Oh my gosh.
That they didn't have to get any financing.
Right.
A lot of offers are contingent on financing or they're even seller financed. So you sell it at sort of a reduced price and they pay you back through time for the profits of running the business.
Wow, that's incredible.
So we didn't have any risks. So because of those things, we had a really short period. I think it was like 60 days, so we closed in March.
Okay.
So that was in some ways the hard part because you've been running this business for 5 years. And it's really been your identity and your baby and your love. And then it's like between January and March, and all of a sudden it was like gone. And there were things to wrap up. I mean, we had a good month and a half, 4 to 6 weeks of wrapping things up and closing out the space and everything. Because the buyers who bought it were actually in Florida. So they moved the store to Florida.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there is still a physical location.
There is still. Yes.
Okay, so interesting. Okay, so you go through that process and huge congratulations to you. It's no small feat to build a business, to sell it, have kids, oh my gosh.